Okay, this will be recording. Well, I'm just going to show you now a quick look at my electric bike converted. This is what we've got. Basically, this is a Giant Trance X3 with a kit from China. The back wheel is motorised. There's a motor there in the back wheel. That hub is motorised. I've sprayed that black. It was actually horrible silver and chrome. So I sprayed that black. What's good about this bike is it's got adjustable suspension, which you need, and fairly strong disc brakes, although I could probably do with bigger ones. So there's the front brake. Now the back brake with this Chinese kit, you can see there I've got a 7-inch disc on there, which had to be drilled out wider because the Chinese one supplied the very small disc only came to about there, and the drill holes of course were totally non-standard as usual, so I had to drill this slightly wider out so it'll fit the thing. And also you'll see, if you can see in there, in that gap there, that's the original thing for the block, basically for mounting the disc brake to. I had to get a spacer made up, 10mm, that is 10mm width there, to push this disc out so it lines up correctly with the rear brake caliper, so I didn't have to move this around. So I've got a 10 spacer in there, and longer 20mm, these are M5 bolts going into there. So that's just basically a spacer, goes through there, bolts onto there, that screws onto the wheel. Also got a brace here, a high tensile steel brace, which is cut to the profile of that and is Jubilee clipped around there. This is basically to stop the axle wanting to turn in the alloy frame. I don't want to knacker the swinging arm, sorry. So that just stops, not that it probably won't move because it's quite solid in there, but that just stops any axle twist which would, torque twist, which would ruin this. I've got these Schwalbe Marathon Supreme tyres on, which have got a very round profile if you look at them, which is excellent. I did have normal mountain bike tyres with knobblies on, but they're absolutely useless. The profile's usually quite square, they make a lot of road noise, and cornering is absolutely terrible on them. The walls are quite thin on the other tyres, so they kind of collapse and fold like that, and also there's no grip on the edge. So having these round tyres on means I can really corner well and bank well with it. So yeah, there's the rear motor, there's the power lead coming out of there, which goes into this bag which is supplied. Now the battery's in here. The battery actually only comes up to, if you see my hand there, about that. So it's really, there is the battery in there. Now you might think it's a bit strange putting it in a bag, nothing solid, but this is quite good. I can remove it quite quickly and easily. It's soft, which means there's no impact. It's got the holes already. Also, one advantage is that you've got, if I leave the front open like this, it acts as an air vent, so some air can get in there, ideally. And there's also, you can see there, the silver thing is the controller that comes with it. So that's all wired in through to there. There's the what's up meter, just showing. I don't know if you can actually read any of that anyway, but that's working. That just shows me what currents I'm drawing. So I'll leave that out there so I can see that when I'm running, and it's all quite safe, and some air gets in there. So it's soft, removable. The main point about having it here is the weight is centralised. I've tried putting I've mounted it up here, I've had it down here in panniers, I've had the battery everywhere. This is absolutely the best place. It makes sense, it's more like where a motorbike engine would be. There's some foam protection both inside the bag and there's some outside there, just stopping it piercing the bag or causing any bad bashes to the battery itself. There is some padding in the bag, but it's not sufficient, so I've got extra padding in there. So yeah, battery and controller in this bag. Could be a bit smaller, but that was the bag supplied, and it seemed to work quite well. Thumb throttle up here with a kill switch, which again just routes down and into the bag. Quite a lot of pressure in the front shocks, a hell of a lot in fact, because with low pressure it was diving a lot under braking. It just about stops with these disc brakes. It could do with bigger ones, but you need, I think there's 150 pounds in the front and probably close to 300 in the rear. You can see how much it's travelling quite a bit. I've driven these without suspension. You definitely need, this is the ultimate, for me, this is the ultimate setup really. It corners well, it handles the bumps, it's well balanced. You can balance, you can stop on a pin and stand without putting your feet down. It's quite easy to balance. It's fantastic basically. So that's it. It's a Giant X3, not really modified, and all I'd have to do to change this would be, to back to a normal bike, take the bag off, the thumb throttle, a couple of cable ties. Oh, I had to drop this. I had to drop the brake caliper down slightly, remove the spacers out, only about 4mm, just so that's lined up with the top of that that disc, which is a Hayes disc. But I'd have to put those back in, and the wheels should. I'll take this off and the Jubilee clip, but it's not a long job really to swap that out. I would definitely recommend these round profile tyres, called balloon tyres. They're absolutely fantastic. You don't want mountain bike tyres on this at all. It makes them very, very dangerous, especially in the wet. There's not much else to say about this really. It's a pretty standard bike. Oh right, yes, there is one thing about this. You'll see I'm in this gear, which is a bit strange. It's about the second cog down the front and the big one on the front. The chain's almost straight, so it's not too bad. I can't move into any other gear. If I move higher, the derailleur arm there will rub onto the hub. Move any lower, again it's more relaxed, and that moves down onto the hub. So I can't change back gears. Not that you need to. You're only really pedalling when you're setting off. I could change the front. I've still got the ability to change the front gearing, but the rear one is stuck in that gear basically. And another reason for that is this cable here is actually going between the two levers, so I can't push them accidentally, which is quite a good thing. You'll notice this lever is not mounted straight up, because straight up when you've got this fully down, which you have most of the time, it's right underneath and it really hurts your thumb. So I found it angling it this way, when it's fully down it's only down to about here, which makes it a lot easier to keep pressed down without hurting your thumb too much. I much prefer it to the twist throttle. Okay, so it's a 48 volts 20 amp hour ping battery in there, which seems to do quite well. At the moment I'm going to get in about 23 miles, but I think the battery I haven't been using this for a while, because after I fixed my old bike, which basically dropped to bits, it didn't have suspension, it had rim, V-brakes and stuff, and it was absolutely useless with that much power and front wheel drive. So I've changed quite a lot and messed around. So I can't think of anything else to rabbit on about, so we'll go for a ride and see how it goes.